Hi, I'm Charlie with Precision Matthews, and today we'll continue our series on tools you need to be successful in the machine shop. We've already covered the basic tools for your first day machining, a collection of intermediate tools, and today we'll talk about how to expand your tool collection to gain more capability in the shop. Let's get started. I'll start with an addendum to the last video. I knew I would forget something in the beginning and intermediate toolkits, and there were plenty of comments telling me what I forgot. I overlooked these two because they're in my desk drawer rather than my toolbox. Pair of tweezers for taking metal splinters out of my fingers, and a lighted magnifying glass for inspecting tool edges and showing me the splinters I'm trying to take out of my fingers. The tweezers I got from the makeup aisle at Target for under $1, and this lighted magnifying glass I got for free from some tool vendor years ago. They both probably belong in your toolkit. As we move to an advanced toolkit, I'm adding a couple gauges. By now, you're cutting single point threads on your lathe, so you need a thread gauge to sanity check right after your scratch pass. You'll also find that you need a set of feeler gauges. In addition to my set, I also have just a single long 25 thou feeler gauge that I keep handy for general setup and work locating tasks. I can probably do a whole video on all the uses I have for that single feeler gauge, but I'll spare you for now. Speaking of making threads, I'll also include some thread wires in this advanced toolkit. This is another subject that deserves its own video, but until I get around to that, just bookmark the 3-wire method section in your machinery's handbook and try really hard to grow that third and fourth hand to make these thread wires usable. Everyone knew this shot was coming, because as you keep advancing, you'll eventually find yourself at the surface plate. And it's going to get used as a work surface one way or another, so make a cover for it. A couple accessories that are associated with the surface plate. Some manner of indicator holder. No explanation needed for that. I like when the name of the tool tells you exactly what it does. A height gauge with a carbide tip for semi-precision measuring and scribing layout lines. And a universal service gauge has a million different uses. Again, each of these could practically be its own video, and one day I'll get to it. Once you're working on a surface plate, it's time to get some gauge blocks. B grade is fine for a shop set. Gauge blocks that cost thousands of dollars are for a meticulously clean inspection room, not the surface plate in the corner of the tool room. And we've talked before about whether to get your tools in metric or inch sizes, and these blocks are in inch, but of course follow your heart in that decision. I use the metric system. When I was an apprentice, I cut external threads on a human hair. When I became a journeyman, I ground and heat treated an unbreakable tap to cut mating internal threads. I use the metric system. My son Archibald is austerely mannered and exceedingly fancy. I measure his growth very precisely using scientific notation. He's getting so big, why he's nearly 1.21 times 10 to the 6th power microns tall. I eat the same geometrically perfect cheese sandwich for lunch every day. The cheese is perfectly square and the corners have a perfect 5mm radius on them. Exactly 10 grams of Dijon mustard is spread on one side. My country had to invent colonialism to find people who knew how to season their food. I use the metric system. Sorry about that. I think we were getting some radio interference or something from across the pond. Anyway, we were at the surface plate. I said in the last video to get a dial test indicator in half thou increments. But once you have a surface plate and gauge blocks, I officially give you permission to buy a tenths indicator. Not before that though. Using a tenths indicator when you don't know what you're doing is maddening. And now's also the time to get some V-blocks for working with round features on the surface plate. You'll advance in precision at the surface plate, but you can also advance by being able to measure larger dimensions. The 6-inch calipers are in the basic Day 1 toolkit, and you'll probably shortly have a set of 12-inch calipers. And once you've got 12-inch calipers, you'd be surprised how handy a set of 24-inch calipers are. Like, what if I want to measure the case of my oscilloscope for some reason? I get vernier calipers once I get into the big sizes to control costs as much as I can. I know I said I buy fancy tools instead of jewelry, but I draw the line at 4 figures for calipers. Maybe most importantly, the big calipers are great for visual gags. You can also lightly haze the apprentice by making him use only the 24-inch calipers for the day. And before you ask, yes, the guys actually trying to do work while I film myself goofing around are getting tired of me. So there you have it. If you have all the tools from this series of videos, I would consider your toolbox to be very well equipped. Now, buying specialty tools for specific jobs never ends, but this covers everything I can think of that you'd need for 95% of the jobs you'll come across. And I'm sure I forgot about something, so let me know in the comments if there's a tool that you can't believe I didn't mention. As always, thanks for watching.